name's Cheney, welcome back to my channel, a place where you can find all things self-development, lifestyle and intentional living. In this week's video, I'm going to be sharing with you how I healed my eczema naturally. No steroid creams, no medications, nothing harsh on the skin, just plants, food and love. Just to give you some background, so I have suffered with eczema for the last 4 years. It appeared out of nowhere when I was 22 and has been constant ever since. I never had eczema as a child, so I was really surprised when I started being affected by it at 22, because it's really uncommon for adults to have eczema if they didn't have it as a child, which for me it started in the corners of my lips around my mouth, which is like a really bizarre place to get eczema, I think, because obviously most people get eczema in like the common sort of like sweat glandy areas, which is like the inner part of your arm, where you're like the inside part of your elbow, or like the backs of your knees, like on your legs and things like that, where you can get sweaty. Wrists, maybe like around your armpit area, just places that can get moist and things like that tend to be the affected areas. But no, I got mine on my mouth. It was constant like cracks in the corners of my mouth, split lips that just kept on splitting. So you've probably had it before, you get a crack in your mouth and then it gets really dry, and every time you open it, it just re-splits. And I had that constantly over and over again, and they just never healed. I tried all of the lip balms, none of them gave me any relief whatsoever, apart from the fact that it kind of helped the painful splitting sensation. So it kind of provided some sort of hydration so it didn't keep cracking, but it was a constant split that never healed. Then after a couple of months, it spread all over my face, and that's literally not an exaggeration. It wasn't super red, but it was so dry and flaky, like honestly was the equivalent to having dandruff on my face. I would just brush my hand over my face and I could just do this and I would see it like shedding. It was horrific. It was so disgusting for me. It affected my mind so much more than I thought something like that ever would. And I think also a lot more than people realise it affected me. I come across very confident and always very happy, and even when maybe I'm not feeling my best or stuff's going on, people wouldn't know unless I told you, because I don't tend to take out my personal circumstances on everyone else. I try and keep a happy demeanour, because one, people don't want to be around miserable people, and it's not other people's fault that I'm maybe having a bad time or there's something going on. So I don't think people realise how much I was struggling mentally with this, and I know they didn't, because I would get stick from certain people if I didn't go out when they booked a night out, saying that I was selfish because they had organised a night out and now I was pulling out. And it was because really I just didn't want to leave the house because I felt so self-conscious. But hey ho, it's fine, I guess. People can't relate if they haven't had it, and I understand that. So this happened for about a year, and then I eventually succumbed and went to see a dermatologist. I really didn't want to put steroid cream on my face. I'm very against using medications and things like that unless I'm really sick or really have to. I would just prefer to use a natural method. That's just my preference, not because I'm demonising medicine or anything like that, but I do think there are safer alternatives to use, and I prefer to use that as a last resort. So I went to see a dermatologist who sent me to get some allergy tests done, because eczema can sometimes be irritated by allergens, or you might have developed an allergy you don't realise, and then constant exposure is causing rashes and eczema, etc. He also prescribed me a steroid cream, the dreaded steroid cream. It was honestly the worst thing ever. Yes, it healed my eczema, but it was such a strong steroid cream. I was really concerned about what it was doing to my skin in both the short term and the long term in other ways. So for those of you that don't know, steroid creams actually thin the skin, and extended periods of use of a steroid cream can lead to toxic steroid withdrawal symptoms when you come off, so that actually your skin ends up being reliant on the steroid cream. So if you come off it, your skin then almost has a reaction like eczema, where it goes severely dry, cracked, flaky, because it needs the steroid cream. And I was very aware of that, in how it seems like it's solving one problem, even though it's not, because the minute you come off, your eczema flares up again instantly. But that it was also gonna give me something else to be concerned about my skin. So I ended up using it for about 2 weeks and then I ditched it. Thankfully after that my skin seemed to calm down, and it moved from my face to other parts of my body. So it's moved down to my neck, and then it spread to like the backs of like my shoulders and my neck. Then it moved to like my chest, sort of my sternum area, and then eventually ended up on my back right in the center, and honestly it looked like angel wings. I'll see if I can pull up an old picture and I'll stick it up so you can see what it looks like. This personally was a lifesaver for me. So as much as I still had eczema, the fact it wasn't on my face, I could deal with it, and I felt so much happier and so much better in myself. So it stayed on my back for about 2 years, apart from when I'd go on holidays, and then it would just completely heal up within days. So I thought it was maybe something to do with like vitamin D as well for a while, but it stayed on my back for 2 years up until last October, so October 2019. And then I started to get a flare up on my face again, except for this time it was like actually on my eye. So when it was on my face before, it literally avoided my eye area. I had a tiny little dry patch like just on the upper corner of my brow, but like teeny tiny, but my eyes are fine, but like the rest of my face had eczema. This time the eczema was flared up on my eye, and it ended up being all over my eyes, like my eyelids, all underneath. And obviously this is such a delicate area anyway. Add tightness and eczema onto it, oh my goodness, it was just so painful and wasn't attractive either. My confidence fell through the floor and I was really struggling, and I really struggled. I didn't want to leave the house. Going to work was a struggle, and I'd literally just started a new job the month before. So I was even more self-conscious being around people that I didn't know that well, knowing that they didn't know my experience and my background with eczema. Also visually my appearance just didn't look that great, which obviously that affects you, like your self-confidence and you mentally, but it just doesn't, I just don't think it gives a good impression to other people. Kind of makes it seem like you don't make an effort with yourself. Everything was just bombarding my mind, and I really was in a low place. But it was this point and this second bout of it coming back on my face I decided to get rid of it for good this time, because I didn't want to risk it going away and ever coming back again, or it never going away and staying like this for a long time. So that was for me the catalyst point. Cue the medical medium, the light at the end of the tunnel, the man that I owe all of my healing progress to, the medical medium. So I found out about the medical medium probably about 2 years into my eczema journey. At this point it was just on my back, so it was quite mild. It was that wing picture, but it was a point where the eczema on my back was getting quite severe. It was getting really tight to the point that where every time I tried to turn, I honestly felt like my back was going to rip. It was so tight. I just remember panicking and being really uncomfortable with it. And when I say panicking and being uncomfortable, as in I would start to cry myself to sleep and panic that it was going to come back on my face, and it was just fear and anxiety. It was really bad. So I was on Instagram one day, as you do, and I was on the explore page and I saw a post that someone had put up of their before and after of healing their eczema, so naturally I clicked on it, and it was a post by the medical medium. So medical medium actually reposts a lot of people's transformation pictures because the proof is in the pudding of what he prescribes, if you like. So naturally I stalked his page for a really long time, reading loads of people's transformation stories, seeing what they've done, seeing how severe their before was compared to their after, trying to figure out how long I think that I could take to heal my eczema. I just wanted to know more, because all he was promoting was a diet-based solution. I didn't have to pay for any medication, it wasn't any chemicals again, it was just food, like natural food. So I bought his book, Medical Medium, and I read it all within a couple of days, and it resonated with me so much. So I thought I'd give his protocol a try, and I started with just the celery juice. So there's more to his protocol, but this is the main thing that he recommends, and so that's what I started. I didn't make any alterations to my diet, although I was already a vegetarian at this point, so I was half doing the diet that he prescribes, but not intentionally. And then within 2 weeks of doing celery juice, the eczema on my back had completely gone. I was honestly amazed. So it stayed clear for quite some time, but then it did eventually resurface because I was drinking and also eating a lot of the no foods that he recommends you avoid. But it was manageable, and I had relief knowing that I knew how to get rid of it again if it got really severe. To be honest, the fact that it cleared my eczema within 2 weeks before probably built up my expectation a little bit, as this time doing his protocol, and I did his protocol pretty much in its entirety, it took a lot longer to clear, but at the same time I was further into my eczema journey, which means the Epstein-Barr virus, which is what causes the eczema, if you like, was probably worse. I could have had other strains of it at this point, and I'd probably built up more copper deposits in my body, which is what the Epstein-Barr virus feeds off. And when it feeds off it, it releases a dermatoxin, which basically rises to the surface of your skin and is what causes your eczema. So the eczema is almost like a side effect. It's like viral waste matter that then causes eczema. Kind of complicated for me to explain, and I don't want to go through the whole of what, you know, how he explains what causes eczema, because he does go into depth and I'm not going to relay it properly. So I really recommend purchasing his book, which is totally affordable. You can get it on Amazon if you are interested and you want to know more. So that's probably why I think it took longer this time, because I was deeper into it. My body was more broken down, was less able to cope with toxins, and so it took longer to heal because I had sort of more undoing of the bad stuff to do. Fast forward to the present day, well, at least October, when it started to resurface on my face. I knew exactly what to do, knew where to start with my healing, and I was going to start ASAP. So for the moment that you've all been waiting for, what did I actually do to heal my eczema? Started drinking celery juice daily. For the first 3 months, I was only drinking half the recommended amount, 8 ounces, and then for the second 3 months, so the latter of my 6 months healing journey, so from January up until March, I then doubled the dosage to what he recommends, which is 16 ounces. The reason I did this is because the first 3 months I wasn't seeing the improvements quick enough, or as quick as I would have liked them, so that's why I upped the recommended amount. The only reason why I wasn't doing that in the first place is because I honestly hate celery. I find it absolutely vile. I have to drink it with my nose pinched. Even to this day, I've been drinking it pretty much daily for the last 6 months, and I still can't drink it without pinching my nose. It makes me heave. So that's the only reason why I didn't to begin with, but I doubled it, and that's when I started to notice the difference. So once I doubled the intake of celery juice to the recommended amount of 16 ounces, I also started taking the heavy metal detox smoothie that he recommends, which is basically 2 oranges juiced, 2 cups of wild blueberries. I did kind of reduce the volume because I just don't have time to drink all this liquid before work in the morning, so I kind of did like a half portion of the smoothie, but it's essentially orange, blueberries, cilantro, which I think is coriander in English, I forget, spirulina, barley grass juice powder. So I'd have the celery juice and then I'd have the smoothie for my breakfast. I'd also take a apple and ginger shot because ginger is good at reducing inflammation, which obviously I had an inflammatory skin condition, and apple is also helps prevent dehydration at a cellular level and within the body. So I obviously have dehydration in the fact that I've got eczema because the skin's dry, so I was also trying to keep myself hydrated. So for me, apple and ginger was a great shot that I could have in the morning, natural medicine. During the 6 months, I tried to cut wheat out as much as possible. I did have it here and there, but I tried to restrict it back as much as I could. And I also followed a vegan diet as strictly as I could. Now I say as strictly as I could because occasionally I did break that and I was a bit naughty and I might have had a little bit of dairy. I pretty much avoided eggs in its entirety because eggs actually take about 3 months to fully get out of your system. Disgusting, I know, so that one I was more cautious to avoid. But as a general, I'd say like 99% of the time I was avoiding wheat, I was avoiding any animal products, and I also cut out alcohol bar the odd occasion where I might have had a glass if it's a celebratory occasion, but personally I'd recommend you just don't. For the sake of one glass, it's not worth it, and it's like attacking the liver, which is the thing that you need to heal in order to get rid of your eczema, so it's just really counterintuitive. FYI, learn from my mistake. For supplements, I take zinc in some water and B12 under the tongue every single day. I did do a video on my exact supplements that I take to help with my eczema and just overall health, so I'll link that below if you're interested in knowing more about that. So just to give you an idea of what my days look like food-wise, I'd obviously have celery juice, and most days my breakfast would be the heavy metal detox smoothie. If I didn't have the heavy metal detox smoothie, I would have another smoothie of some kind. I just tried to keep it fruit in the morning, or fruit and veg, so that it was just natural clear foods for my body to process really easily. I would then snack on fruit throughout the day, so again just keeping it really light. My body can easily digest this stuff. For lunch, I used to bulk make myself a curried vegetable soup which had sweet potato, carrot and onion in it. Again, all fruits and vegetables, so I literally didn't eat anything but fruits and vegetables all day until I would get to dinner. And then when I would get to dinner, I would usually have some sort of carbohydrate, so I could have had rice. I tried to avoid pasta if possible, but occasionally I had pasta just because of the wheat element. Rice was fine, so I'd have things like, I'd rotate between a lot of Asian dishes, so it'd be like nasi goreng style rice, ramen, which is kind of like a noodle curried vegetable soup, and also just vegetable curries. So I suppose my dinners weren't too diversified, but they're just the foods I like to eat in general anyway, so I'm happy to just keep eating them. Things like vegetable chilies as well are good. You can really eat a lot of vegan meals quite easily. It's just getting familiar with them. So that was kind of what my diet was like on an everyday basis. You probably think, oh my god, weren't you just starving? I was also trying to do my weight loss thing at the same time, so this kind of all helped, but not really. Get used to eating lightly, and yeah, I don't know, I just really enjoyed it. And eating that light through all day, not eating anything but fruit and veg, my system could digest that easily, no problem, so my body had more time to focus on healing as opposed to trying to tackle all the heavy foods you would usually eat. For something sweet, because I always want something sweet after dinner, I'd have ginger nut biscuits or ginger snaps from M&S specifically. One, because they are only 30 calories a biscuit, and also they are vegan. So if I did want something sweet, I would have that biscuit. So whilst the sugar probably wasn't good, you do need to have a little bit of something that gives you sanity. So as I film this video for you right now, I'm approximately 1 to 2 months eczema free, about 6 weeks. My eczema cleared up right around the time we went into lockdown, so just towards the end of March. However, due to the madness of the shops at that time, I stopped purchasing celery because I actually couldn't get any, and I was just buying what was available, a lot of sort of staple ingredients like rice, pastas, whatever fruit and veg I could purchase. So I stopped taking my celery juice and I stopped having my heavy metal detox smoothie, which are quite key in the healing process. I did relax a little bit too quickly, I guess, with everything that was going on. Food was like the only comfort I could get access to, so I relaxed my diet quite a bit. I was eating a lot more wheat, I was having bits of chocolate, not dairy-free chocolate, here and there, and I did have a bit of a flare-up a couple of weeks ago. Not a massive one, just a small one, but I noticed that my skin was getting that kind of itchy, but I know it's eczema because it's like hot and stingy. I feel like you can't relate unless you have eczema, but you know when it's an eczema itch. So it flared up a little bit around my eyes, but I got back on my celery juice again. I hadn't got back on my heavy metal detox, to be honest with you, but I am having a smoothie in the morning just to keep my system clear. So celery juice and my apple and ginger shot again, and within a couple of days it cleared up. So I just know that I can't relax it as quickly as I did. I'm now carrying on with my celery juice. I'm going to carry on doing that for the next 3 months whilst my skin stays clear, and probably keep going for as long as I can be bothered to do that, because just because it stops surfacing on your skin and it seems like your eczema's healed, you may still have the Epstein-Barr virus. It's just that your liver is now able to cope with it. The only reason why you have eczema in the first place is because your liver gets overburdened with viral waste matter, and the next available place for it to push it out, the next biggest organ, is your skin. So when your skin's expressing it, it's because your body's severely overloaded. So just because your skin is clear doesn't mean you haven't still got some stuff going inside. So I would recommend keep going with your protocols for as long as possible as you can, even once your skin is clear, just to make sure that you are getting rid of everything. So that is the end of my eczema healing video. I appreciate that was probably quite long and there's a lot of words in that video, but I hope it was helpful for you. I know how desperate is only the word I can feel that you feel when you've got a skin condition, especially one that's on your face. It attacks your mentality, it attacks your confidence, it stops you doing things that you would do, it stops you living the way you want to live because you just feel like you want to clam up in the shell. So I really do hope this provided some help in any way to any of you, or even if it just sparked your curiosity to look at the medical medium, because truly his protocol isn't just focused on eczema, it's a lot of conditions: acne, psoriasis, SIBO, bloat, Hashimoto's disease. There's just so many things that he addresses, so I'd really recommend looking into him no matter what your health ailment would be, but really would recommend it. If you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up, it really helps my channel, and also hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications. I do post new videos every single Saturday. If you'd like to follow me on Instagram, you can find me at Cheney Parsons, which I'll leave a link in the description box below for you. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. I really am grateful for all of you, and I will see you next week.